Making headlines. Youth Minister reveals the government has achieved 90% of the Youth Manifesto, bringing revolutionary changes to the sector. And Youth Ministry states over $17.6 million was spent by the government as grants for sports clubs, non-governmental organizations and national associations in the past 4 years.
Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Fatma Sara. Minister of Youth and Sports Irtisham Adam reveals the government has achieved 90% of the Youth Manifesto, bringing revolutionary changes to the sector. At a ceremony held by Ministry of Youth and Sports celebrating the success of past 4 years, Youth Minister Irtisham Adam said President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum gave hope to a neglected sector of the country through revolutionary changes. Noting that achieving 90% of the Youth Manifesto serves as proof for the many endeavours of the government related to youth, Minister Irtisham expressed a project was held in every island by the Youth Ministry. Highlighting the efforts of government to enhance the sports sector of the country, Minister added 80 futsal grounds were established all across Maldives within the past 4 years. Minister mentioned before the current government took office, there were only 5 futsal grounds in Maldives, stating development of 101 futsal grounds are currently underway. Moreover, Minister in the speech lauded the support and effort of President Yamin in making the Youth Manifesto a reality. Minister also thanked everyone supporting Youth Ministry in works of developing and empowering youth. Minister of Youth and Sports Irtisham Adam states over $17.6 million was spent by the government as grants for sports clubs, non-governmental organizations and national associations in the past 4 years. The Youth Minister made the statement at a ceremony held to celebrate the success of 4 years of Ministry of Youth and Sports. The Minister said, in efforts to empower non-governmental organizations and clubs to operate on its own and to hold various activities, the government spent $17.6 million within the past 4 years. Minister Irtisham stated it also includes expenses on national level programs and international competitions. Noting that before the government took office, only $1.7 million was spent per year, Minister mentioned over $308 was spent on sport activities on average per year. The Minister expressed all the donations proves the importance given by President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum to develop youth and sports in the country. Coca-Cola Maldives signs with associate partner of PSM World Cup coverage. The agreement was signed by the Managing Director of Public Service Media PSM, Ibrahim Halil, and CEO of Coca-Cola Maldives, Milind Derasari. Speaking at the ceremony, Managing Director of PSM noted Coca-Cola Maldives is an important partner of PSM. Noting that PSM has been providing receivers needed to watch World Cup made available for free to enable the participation of everyone in the coverage, Ibrahim Halil advised television operators and cable operators to provide the services so that the objectives are fully met. Speaking at the ceremony, CEO of Coca-Cola Maldives, Milind Derasari, stated the company is delighted to participate in World Cup coverage of PSM and assured full support. 5 other companies have previously signed as associate partners of PSM World Cup coverage. Malé Water and Sewerage Company MWSC launches the first ever reverse vending machine made for recycling in the Maldives, Smart Bin. The reverse vending machine made for recycling was inaugurated by Minister of Environment and Energy Tariq Ibrahim and Managing Director of MWSC Fazul Rashid. Addressing the function, Environment Minister Tariq Ibrahim highlighted the importance of such initiatives. Minister Tariq called to make the best use of smart bins, expressing hope the project will minimize dumping waste on the roads. The minister stated companies must initiate such projects inspired by technology. Speaking at the ceremony, Managing Director of MWSC Fazul Rashid said the project launched by MWSC is a major CSR initiative of the company to promote and engage the community in recycling practices. Fazul Rashid revealed aims to keep one smart bin in Hulumale Central Park before the end of this year, adding products recycled from the machine will be brought to Male. The newly launched Smart Bin provides an automated method for collecting, sorting and handling of used plastic bottles for recycling purposes. Smart Bin has the capacity to collect up to 538 bottles per day. Smart Bin also allows disposals of any type of empty plastic bottles of sizes ranging between 330 millimeters and 1.5 liters. According to MWSC, individuals will receive 0.15 points from every bottle put in the bin, which can be redeemed via MWSC mobile application. Moreover, during the ceremony, the company inaugurated MWSC Recycles exhibition. MWSC Recycles is an exhibition that focuses on handmade products made using recycled plastic. The competition is open nationwide to all members of the public to engage the community in the practices of recycling. Housing Development Corporation HDC reveals the causeway linking Hulule and Hulumale will be open for public in August. HDC stated while the causeway is also scheduled to be launched with the China-Maldives Friendship Bridge, Maldives Ports Limited MPL will start operating buses in the causeway.
The government aims to connect the transportation of Hulule and Hulumale with one network with the construction of the China-Maldives Friendship Bridge. While construction of the bridge is ongoing at a fast pace, government has embarked on arranging easier transportation between Hulule and Male with the development of a bridge. In this regard, government initiated the causeway linking Hulule and Hulumale. The $23.8 million project is contracted to Hunan Construction Engineering Group of China. Speaking to PSM News regarding the progress of the project, Managing Director of HDC, Mohammed Simon, stated, the main aim of constructing the bridge linking Male and Hulule is easing the traffic flow. Adding the link road linking Hulule and Hulumale aims to ease the transportation of travelers from airport to Hulumale. Simon highlighted the 4-kilometer causeway will meet international standards and is designed with 4 lanes similar to Male Ring Road and the bridge. Link Road bus transportation is contracted to Maldives Ports Limited MPL. Managing Director of HDC said a bus transit terminal will be established in Hulumale by the end of July. Simon said the bus transit terminal developed in Hulumale Waste Management Yard area will serve as a connecting point of MPL buses from the causeway and MTCC buses from Hulumale. According to MPL, 2 shipments of bus to be operated in the causeway will be brought to Maldives by August.
State carrier Air China resumes regular flights between Beijing and Pyongyang as diplomatic relations improve between China and North Korea.
China's flag carrier indefinitely suspended flights between the 2 cities in November, citing poor demand. The suspension came at a time when ties had been frayed by Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program and Beijing's backing of tough United Nations sanctions in response. An Air China company official told Reuters flights would resume, saying that this was due to market reasons. Its website showed the airline now allows travelers to book tickets for the CA121 route from Beijing to Pyongyang, which flies on Monday, Wednesday and Friday afternoons. Relations between the 2 countries have warmed lately, with Chinese President Xi Jinping and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un holding 2 meetings in China since March. North Korea is in the meantime preparing for a summit with US President Donald Trump in Singapore on June 12th.
Turkey and the US endorses a roadmap for resolving the issue of Syria's Manbij province. The agreement was reached during a meeting in Washington between Turkey's Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu and US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Both parties agreed to work together to address issues of common interest, taking joint steps to ensure the security and stability in Manbij.
Turkey launched Operative Olive Branch on January 20th in an attempt to expel the Kurdish People's Protection Units YPJ out of Afrin in northern Syria. Since then, the country has been infuriated by the US support for the Kurdish YPG militia in Syria, which it views as a terrorist organization. It has also threatened to push its offensive in the region further east to Manbij, regardless of the risk of confronting with the US troops stationed there. This move is expected by experts to narrow in the Turkish and US differences on Syria, especially on the YPJ, which is a Syrian Kurdish group that Ankara regards as a terrorist organization linked with the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party PKK in Turkey, whereas Washington views it as a key ally in the fight against IS militants. Director of Turkish Center for Asia-Pacific Studies said the final agreement or consensus on Manbij is a good way to handle these differences.
The final agreement or consensus on Manbij is a good way to handle these differences. It seems a workable situation and getting more trust between Turkish and American sides on the Syrian soil.
While the statement did not explicitly spell out how Turkey and the United States would resolve the Manbij issue or detail the next steps of the plan, previous reports from Turkish suggest that it would stipulate the withdrawal of the YPJ from Manbij and joint defense of the two countries in the region. Meanwhile, political science professor at Istanbul Bilgi University said the US have realized the importance of Turkey in bringing stability to the Middle East.
The Americans, I think, are beginning to recognize that it's better probably to cooperate with the Turks and rely on the IPG for the long-term relationship of bringing stability to the Middle East.
Iran becomes the first team to arrive in Russia for the World Cup 9 days before the opening match of the tournament to be held from June 14th to July 15th.
Iran have been drawn in Group B alongside former World Cup winners Spain, reigning European champions Portugal and Morocco. Carlos Quiroz's team will be based at Lokomotiv Bakovka Training Center in the Moscow region. This will be their fifth appearances at the finals. Quiroz's side play a friendly against Lithuania in Moscow on June 8th and kick off their campaign against Morocco at the St. Petersburg Stadium on June 15th. Meanwhile, Egyptian coach Hector Cooper says top striker Mo Salah is on track in his recovery to join the rest of his team for the start of the World Cup. The Argentinian coach, who took charge of the Egyptian team in March 2015 and led them to the final of the Africa Cup of Nations last year, was speaking in Brussels, where the team is preparing for the final World Cup warm-up game against Belgium on Wednesday. Salah scored 71% of the Pharaohs' goals in the Russia 2018 World Cup qualifying matches, scoring in every one of their third-round victories. A shoulder injury sustained in the Champions League final after a challenge by Sergio Ramos has raised concerns that the team might have to face their first-round opponents, in particular Uruguay, on June 15th without him. But Cooper said he was almost certain Salah would be fit for the match against Uruguay. On the June 19th, they will play the hosts Russia and will then finish their group stage against Saudi Arabia on June 25th.
The Incredibles are back 14 years after they became an overnight success at the international box office in 2004.
to make some wrong things
The film
right.
about a family which also doubles up as a superhero team finally has its sequel, and that film, Incredibles 2, had its world premiere on Hollywood Boulevard. Once again directed by Brad Bird, it brings back together the cast of Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter and Samuel L. Jackson, although none of them could give a straight answer as to why the film's sequel took so long to come out.
I have no idea because, I've been sitting at home waiting to go back to work since we did this movie. I hadn't done a movie in the last 14 years, waiting for this movie to happen. So hopefully it won't take that long for the next one to happen.
The sequel turns the family on its head, with Elastic Girl being chosen to be the superhero in the limelight, while Mr. Incredible has to be a stay-at-home dad looking after his children, Violet and Dash, as well as baby Jack, who has just developed superpowers. Although the film may fall into the genre of the superhero movie, Hunter told Reuters on the red carpet that was not the case.
Mainly, it's a movie about a family. I mean, that's the front and center thing, is that they're a family. And that is what I think is so recognizable to everybody who watches The Incredibles. And that's why they love the families, because they are the family.
Despite being the world premiere, some of the cast had been allowed to see an unfinished version of the film. Incredibles 2 is set for release in US cinemas on June 14.
Combustion imminent? What does that mean? Ah!
It means fire, Robert.
Well, that's it for now. Stay tuned for more updates of recent confessed stories here on PSM News. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.